these days. My name is Stephanie McCory. I'm an associate professor of chemistry at CBU and the associate dean of the School of Science and Technology here at CBU. Today, I am so pleased to be your MC as Cape Breton University announces a bold future for CBU and Cape Breton Island. I welcome you here today to CBU, which is located on unceded and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Before we get started, I want to remind you that we are adhering to all COVID-19 protocols and will ask that you remain seated until the very end of our program. Thank you for doing your part to keep our community safe. As we know, many organizations are grappling with the short and long-term challenges created by COVID-19, and so too is Cape Breton University. Challenges are not new to us. Our ability to adapt has allowed us to persevere. Our courage to push boundaries and innovate has propelled us to be the university we are today. And it is with ingenuity that today we are looking at the future with determination and a clear vision. To hear more about that vision, I will ask President Dingwall to please take the podium. Thank you.
Oh, these complications. Before I begin, I wish to acknowledge, and I hope you would acknowledge with me, the presence of the Chancellor of Cape Breton University, Annette Verschuren. Round of applause, please. The next is the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Robert Sampson. First of all, let me express my appreciation to each and every one of you for your attendance here this morning. We at the university believe that the strategic initiative that we are going to embark upon is important not only for the next 5 years, but for the next 10 to 15 years. With the unanimous support of the Board of Governors at Cape Breton University, I wish to announce the #1 capital project for the university, the Center for the Discovery and Innovation. It's all about the future. It's part of the COVID-19. It's about going where the puck is going. It's about growing the population of Cape Breton, and it's about innovation and capturing the opportunities of the marketplace. Yes, it's a new build of some 80,000 square feet with the elimination of about 50,000 existing square feet, which is asbestos-laced building that has run its course, the Arsenal Britain Science Building. The discovery and innovation will include a collaborative research laboratory, an applied laboratories for public health, a nursing simulation center, a learning studio, a cooperative rapid manufacturing robotic laboratories and makerspace, the Marshall Institute, and a community innovation hub. Innovation is in complete alignment with the strategic plan that all of you at CBU and the community have worked on collaboratively. It's in alignment with the academic plan and the research plan. So what is our need, our capital need of approximately $80 million for the construction of this facility? What makes it different? Well, the population growth is fundamental to the future of Atlantic Canada. Persons in public office understand this issue, but more importantly, the nonprofit sector does, and most importantly, the private sector. And many others understand the need for all of us to address the population needs of our community here in Cape Breton. Just to put things in perspective, the book written by the author Richard Salient from the University of New Brunswick addressed the entire issue of population and the lack of population in Atlantic Canada. In his study, he noted that from 1971 to 2014, a 43-year period, British Columbia had a growth of 107%. Alberta, 147%. Ontario, 74%. Quebec, almost 34%. PEI, 30%. And Nova Scotia at 18%. Our senior population is growing in Nova Scotia. In 2013, it was 17.7% of our population was 65 years and older. In 2038, it will be 31% of our population will be over 65 years of age. So what do we need in Cape Breton? We need lots of young people. And as this particular graph shows, quite clearly, and the next statement, which is even more important, and I need to quote this. The latest Stats Canada numbers show the university students had a significant impact, most notably in the CBRM. There was an increase of 2,249 in net non-permanent residents in the CBRM. And just to put that in context, the increase in Halifax was 1,481. So my friends, it's a very large number. That's how much this means to the overall population of Cape Breton. That is actually pushing the population up. Cape Breton University has students from 56 different countries around the world. We need to run the table on attracting more young people to Cape Breton from all of those different countries. But what is most important is for us to have a facility that A, they can be proud of, and provide the kinds of services and amenities that are absolutely necessary in the international marketplace. This is a collective effort. Yes, the Board of Governors has approved it. Yes, the faculty and staff are on side. But the community needs to be on side. I'm going to quote from a book about one of our dear friends, Greg MacLeod. Dr. Harvey Johnston wrote the book, one of the many books on Father Greg, and he made this quote: "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." Well, that's where we are. We have some real strategic advantages at CBU. And just to remind you, in Cape Breton Island, we have one of the most welcoming communities in the world. We are the #1 island in North America. By comparisons, we have a relatively very, very low crime rate. The pristine of our environment, anchored by the Bredor Lakes, is a shining example to the world community. Significant and lasting impressions that it gives to all who come here. And yes, on the health side, we have very little, if any, COVID-19. And we need to build on those strategic advantages. The final thing that is strategic for Cape Breton University is that our policies and are in total alignment with the Government of Canada and the Government of Nova Scotia in terms of increasing the population on immigration, of attracting international students and retaining them. That's not going to change if there's a government change. Why? Read the book by Richard Salient. Population is absolutely crucial for the Atlantic provinces, and Cape Breton is no different. My friends, I'm going to ask my colleague, Dr. Janice Tulk, if I may, to give you a little bit of a wider description on the contents of this brand new build. It will be anchored adjacent to two milestones at Cape Breton University, the Verschuren Center and the Shannon School of Business. It will have a lasting effect, attractiveness for international students who come here and who wish to stay. My friends, would you welcome Dr. Janice Tulk, who will tell you.
I think we're all trying to get used to the COVID protocols. If I could have you turn your attention just for a moment to the two photos on either far side. Those are photos of our current science building. This science building is more than 50 years old, and we've been trying to replace it via various funding streams since 1998. We long ago outgrew the space, which is home to science and technology programs, including the popular Bachelor of Engineering Technology and Bachelor of Health Sciences Public Health. The crumbling architecture can no longer support the demands of a growing student body or the advances in research and innovation led by our faculty members and research associates. It's also the single largest energy user per square meter on campus, which is a threat to sustainable operations in the future. So this new building, Discovery and Innovation, will replace part of the aging science building and provide new collaborative space to support campus-wide research and community engagement. One of the most exciting spaces in the Center for Discovery and Innovation is the Learning Studio, a hybrid classroom and laboratory space that emphasizes hands-on learning and collaborative problem solving. Studies of these spaces at other institutions in North America show improved conceptual understanding, higher class attendance rates, and significantly higher success rates overall, all of which improves the persistence and completion rates of students in STEM. And this is especially important in recruiting and retaining a more diverse student population in STEM fields. Our Bachelor of Engineering Technology program has tripled in size in the last 3 years. And so to accommodate that growth, we need new space. But we also need the latest in technology. The new rapid manufacturing and robotic laboratories will modernize our engineering program and ensure that we train the next generation of engineers and technologists, not only for existing opportunities, but also opportunities that we can't yet imagine. As the world stands on the precipice of a rapid manufacturing revolution, experiential learning and industry collaboration are critical to our students' success. Likewise, modern technology and laboratory space is also essential for our growing nursing, public health, and emergency management programs, and thank you to our nursing students for coming today. New spaces dedicated to interactive simulations and mock scenarios will ensure that our communities have highly trained professionals who are ready to respond to emerging public health threats and provide competent patient care. The importance of hands-on training in these fields can't be overstated. It's not enough for students to graduate with the competencies required for their chosen professions. They must also embody the confidence to execute those competencies, even under stressful circumstances, perhaps a global pandemic. In addition to these new instructional spaces, the Center for Discovery and Innovation will feature state-of-the-art research laboratories for our faculty members and research associates, as well as a community innovation hub. The open concept design, featuring multi-purpose, reconfigurable space, will facilitate community collaboration, public outreach, and industry partnerships. The Community Innovation Hub will be utilized by various research institutes on campus, including the newly established Marshall Institute. Cape Breton University has been working with the family of Donald Mercer Jr. to establish the vision for this institute, which will focus its work around environmental justice and Indigenous approaches to climate change. Importantly, the space will honor the life and legacy of Donald Marshall Jr., both in terms of the lasting impact of his wrongful conviction in Canada and the upholding of Mi'kmaq rights under the Treaties of Peace and Friendship. The Community Innovation Hub, then, will be a space for much-needed knowledge sharing, advocacy, and action. With contemporary, innovative infrastructure, CBU will be positioned to maximize the potential of Cape Breton Island's most valuable resource, its people. The Center for Discovery and Innovation will drive a more prosperous, sustainable, globally oriented future for the island, but also enable Cape Breton University to take a leading role in providing innovative solutions to problems faced not only in Cape Breton, but in communities all around the world.
Thank you, Janice, and thank you, President Dingwall. Certainly, this is more than a building. It's the future of CBU and Cape Breton Island. The activity within it, the teaching, the learning, the research, the community engagement will help shape the next generation of thought leaders and innovators. It's hard to hear about this amazing space without thinking about what the impacts and outcomes could mean for our community, our students, and our graduates. Kelsey McNeil is the president of the Cape Breton University Alumni Association and is here to say a few words about what this exciting project means to her as an alumna of CBU. Welcome, Kelsey.
Good morning, Gwe. Thank you, Stephanie. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here on this very exciting day at CBU. As Stephanie mentioned, my name is Kelsey McNeil, and I am the president of the CBU Alumni Association and a very proud CBU alumna. When President Dingwall first approached me with the plans to establish the Center for Innovation and Discovery, I was ready to fully support this initiative and represent my fellow alumni in a strong collective voice. Cape Breton University alumni are extremely proud and always ready to talk about their home at CBU. Alumni are the biggest ambassadors and are valuable recruiters for the university. I have of speaking with alumni all over the world on Zoom calls during our spring and summer months, home due to COVID-19. They spoke very highly of their experiences here at CBU. I don't know if you're still allowed to lick your finger during COVID-19, but I'm gonna go with it. They spoke highly of their experiences and the relationships with their instructors and their professors. They expressed how much their educational experience at CBU has propelled them into their current jobs. They reminisce with pride on the fun times they had at the pit, cheering on the Capers, and being involved in activities on campus. What some shy away from, though, I find, especially those who have graduated from the sciences, technology, and engineering, is speaking of the outdated labs, the packed classes, and lack of space to collaborate with fellow students. The Alumni Association Board, with the guidance of the staff in the Alumni Office, have been focusing on engaging alumni who've graduated from CBU's predecessor institutions, including Xavier Junior College, Nova Scotia Eastern Institute of Technology, College of Cape Breton, and University College of Cape Breton. They are all a part of our alumni family. I recently spoke to a graduate from the Institute of Technology. He told me that he does not want his children, who will be attending CBU in the coming years, to sit at the same labs and classes and use the same equipment as he did in the 1980s. But that's the situation that we are in. We can all agree that we want more for the future generation of CBU students. Faculty and lab instructors do brilliant work, and they give students the best experiences they can with the facilities that they have. CBU has some of the most exceptional and dedicated faculty at any post-secondary institution. Alumni are ready to join CBU on the journey to build the Center for Discovery and Innovation. As mentioned by the speakers before me, this project will not only sustain CBU into the future, it will impact the future prosperity of the entire island. When I look around this island and into the communities that make our home here in Cape Breton so special, I see CBU everywhere. On top of the fact that CBU can be directly credited for the first population growth in more than 20 years, there is so much more. Before COVID, transit buses were filled with our students moving around the CBRM. CBU students have been working at all of the large retail stores here locally and providing fantastic customer service experience here on the island. CBU transporting students all over the island to allow our tourism operators to fill gaps in labor. And on top of our already vibrant culture here in Cape Breton, we have new cultures from around the world to experience and to learn from. I want that growth, that impact, and that excitement of a prosperous future for Cape Breton Island. And we need that to continue. I know the Center for Innovation and Discovery at Cape Breton University is the pathway to the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelsey. Well, we are nearing the end of our program. Thank you for being here with us today. To close today's events, I will ask President Dingwall to return to the podium to say a few words. Immediately following the President's remarks, media will have an opportunity to ask questions. Due to COVID-19, I ask that everyone remain in their seats until the very end of the program. Thank you very much. David.
Thank you, everybody, for attending here today. I want to be very clear, however. There is an ask. There is an ask of the Government of Canada and the Government of Nova Scotia through our 4 representatives, So I want you to contact directly Derek Mummercat, the MLA, Jeff McClellan, MLA, Mike Kellaway, MP, and Jaime Batiste, MP. Don't leave anything to chance. They need to hear from you. We need the assistance of the Government of Canada and the Government of Nova Scotia to carry this over the line. This is about the future. This is about a green building, digitally focused. The university will work with its key partners such as the partnership. Carla Arsenault is here, the municipality. The chief administrative officer is here as well, with all of those individuals who play on that side of population growth. But we are the ones who are attracting the international students. That is our competitive advantage. And members of Parliament and members of the Nova Scotia Legislature need to recognize this. Our bill, yes, is $80 million. Yes, it's a big amount. But other large amounts have been given across this province by the federal government and by the provincial government. But we have that distinctive feature in terms of adding to the population as we work with many stakeholders here in the CBRM to grow our population. That needs to be said. So to repeat, reach out to Derek Mummercat, Jeff McClellan, MLA, Mike Kellaway, MP, and Jaime Batiste, MP. And tell them this is important for our community and they need to deliver. On that note, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the media or anyone else. Yes?
So how are you proposing the funding for this building be broken down?
Well, if the feds want to give us $80 million, we'll take it. If the province want to give us $80 million, we'll take that. You know, it's going to be dealt with the two levels of government. 45, 35, we'll raise some money on our own, but it's not an easy time to go out and raise money if you're a small university such as ourselves. So we're looking for substantial monies from the feds and substantial monies from the province, keeping in mind as to what the impact and the outcome is. Well, it's the right time. Why is it the right time? COVID-19 will come to an end. This is part of the recovery for the province and for eastern Nova Scotia as we move forward. There's never a right time or a bad time. Do we wait 6 months? We wait a year? We wait 2 years? I say no. Let's be bold now. Let's take advantage of what's in the marketplace and let's proceed with some haste as we try to construct this new facility. So I think the timing is perfect. Again, a very good question. We've had some preliminary discussions with officials at both. Spoken with our local representatives. They've expressed real interest. But now is the time that we have to deliver. I mean, I'm not going to give you the name of this individual because I think it would be very unfair. But one of the individuals that I had talked with, if you would ask him to build a Blue Jay Stadium in South Bar, I think he would say yes to. So we're not looking for a yes. We're looking for to do, to deliver. The time of saying, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, thank you very much. That's a wonderful idea. I think that time has come and gone. It's now the time that they need to be accountable. And we want to work with them because we're confident that they know where the buckets of money are. I certainly know where the buckets of money are, and we want to work together with them in terms of trying to achieve that particular objective. And I think they're good people, they're good citizens, and I think they understand the significance of this project, both short term, but more importantly, for the long term. Sir? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not aware of the specifics, but I think you've seen over the last number of weeks, there's been some attempts as it relates to the tour. There's been some attempts at trying to provide some financial assistance to workers, features of that nature. But as you know, the federal minister of infrastructure, along with the Canada Infrastructure Bank, a host of other entities are gearing up. I suspect we won't know anything until such time as there is a federal statement in the Parliament of Canada. I think that will shed more light, as well as what's happening with the province. Announcement the first week in November, but we wanted to make it clear in terms of where we are and where we're going and why we're going that way. As soon as possible. We're shovel ready. I've got my own shovel. I'm ready to go. Pardon me? No, they were not. They were contacted on Friday. They were giving a briefing in a 5, 6, 7-page presentation, but they have known about this project for many, many, many months. It's not something that should be new to them, but we just wanted to put pen to paper to make sure that all our T's and all our I's have been crossed. I think we're looking for everyone. We're looking for business leaders. We're looking for nonprofit organizations, leaders of private sector entities, various individuals and associations across the island to contact directly, as well as all individuals. All the individuals that are here should be contacting these 4 individuals and saying, hey, this is very important for the community going forward. Well, I'm sure, you know, I've been through some of these movies before. I'm sure you're going to get someone who's going to say, well, why are you doing that? You know, my God. Well, I mean, that's part of trying to grow your economy and grow the community. And I'm prepared to take that on, whether it's with individuals or whether it's with groups in the island. And we would hope that members of the media would understand as to where we're trying to go with this particular facility. And most importantly, its significant long-term importance for the community as a whole. We can provide you with in terms of what we the community, particularly in 2018, 2019, before COVID had hit. And I think one of the figures that comes to mind is $167 million economic impact that CBU is making on the community. That will only grow as we attract more people internationally and as we grow our footprint. Now that's a very sharp question. We are under provincial statute that any type of reference to asbestos is that we have to have a plan. It has to be executed, and it has to be monitored quite regularly. And that has been done for several years, and it will continue to be that way until such time as we get rid of those old buildings. So on the issue of safety, no, there's not an issue of safety. We embarked upon a project called the Linkway. We took down 3 stretches of material between the 2 buildings. We found that that was laced with asbestos. So you had to shut it down. You had to invite in the asbestos people, take that out. We also found, because of the age of the facility, that its construction and its durability had eroded substantially. So we were quite fortunate that there was no incidents as it relates to that particular building. So now we're in the process of rebuilding with elevators to make it accessible, make sure it's gone, etc. The new build, which will be green, it will assist in terms of reducing our carbon emissions significantly, will only be positive news for the university and positive news for the community. Yes, we'll have to take down about 53,000 square feet of that building, and that's where it would go, which would then be connected to the Verschuren Center and to the Shannon School. 3 icons, 2 named, 1 not named. Yes? Well, we'll have the appropriate facilities for the purposes of teaching. I think what they say in Public Works Government Services, it's swing space. We'll have to develop that as we move along. We don't ascertain to be too much of a challenge as we attract and identify that kind of swing space. No, it's fairly open in the sense that it needs to be a collaborative space. I think the space of the past was, if you got a lab, it was your lab. Now it's quite different. That space has to be versatile. It has to be accommodating, both to young ones. Stephanie teaches a group of young students, as well as researchers, persons in the community. It has to be very versatile. Failure to do that, I think you really hit an issue in terms of the asset being underutilized. And we want to make sure that this new asset is fully utilized by the community at large, by our faculty, by our researchers, and by the partnerships that we hope to be able to develop for years and years to come. I'm getting the signal that it's over. Well, once again, on behalf of the Chancellor, the Board of Governors, the Chairman of the Board, the faculty and staff, thank you for coming. And I hope that you will prevail upon yourself to be in constant contact with Derek Mummercat, MLA, Jeff McClellan, MLA, thank you very much.